Hello everyone! Today, I'll explore in detail the tips and tricks that can help you master the IELTS Task 1 process chart. This type of question tests your ability to describe visual information accurately, clearly, and logically. By following these strategies, you'll be well equipped to tackle even the trickiest charts. Tip 1. Analyze the chart before writing. Before you start writing, take a moment to carefully analyze the chart. Ask yourself, what type of process is depicted? Is it a linear sequence of steps, or a cyclical process that repeats? For example, a recycling process often follows a cyclical pattern, whereas manufacturing processes are usually linear. Also, pay close attention to arrows, labels, and any textual details provided in the diagram. These elements give valuable clues about the flow of the process. Tip 2. Use passive voice. Correctly processed charts heavily rely on passive voice for an academic tone. For instance, active workers sort raw materials. Passive raw materials are sorted. This structure emphasizes the action rather than the actor, which aligns with the formal style expected in IELTS. Let's try applying this to a recycling example. Plastic bottles are shredded, compressed into blocks, and finally dispatched for reuse. Tip 3. Enrich your description with vocabulary. Use process-specific vocabulary to make your explanation detailed and professional. Here's a quick example. Instead of saying metal is cleaned, you can say metal is rinsed to remove impurities. Instead of wood is pressed, try wood is compressed into blocks. Practice using terms like dig, sort, melt, forge, accumulate, compress, and dispatch to enhance your writing. Tip 4. Sequence your ideas with linkers. To ensure your response flows smoothly, use linking words such as first, next, then, and finally. Tip 5. Highlight the purpose of each step. Examiners value descriptions that explain why a step is performed. For example, plastic bottles are shredded to create small flakes that can be melted easily. Metal sheets are heated to remove residual impurities before forging. By adding the purpose, you demonstrate a deeper understanding of the process. Tip 6. Make connections between steps. Use words like which, where, and when to connect one step to another. For example, the shredded plastic is melted, which allows it to be molded into pallets. The heated metal is forged into blocks where they are polished for finishing. These connections add depth and clarity to your response. Tip 7. Avoid repetition and stick to the chart. Focus solely on the information provided in the diagram without introducing assumptions or irrelevant details. For example, if the chart doesn't specify who performs a task, avoid saying workers clean the materials. Stick to the materials are cleaned instead. Tip 8. Add variety to sentence structures. While passive voice is the backbone of your response, occasional active voice adds variety. For instance, the factory compresses the blocks, followed by, the blocks are dispatched. This keeps your writing engaging. Example. Application. Let's quickly apply these tips to an example process chart. Firstly, plastic bottles are collected from recycling bins. Once accumulated, the bottles are rinsed to remove impurities. After rinsing, the bottles are shredded into flakes, which are compressed into small blocks. These blocks are then dispatched to factories, where they are melted and molded into new products. Finally, the products are packaged and sent to retailers for sale. Closing words. Remember, practice is the key to mastering process charts. Work on several examples, analyze the sequence of steps, and apply these tips consistently. With this approach, you'll build confidence and accuracy in your responses. Best of luck and happy learning.